I just expected it to be turned on.
Yeah, usually it is. Jesse usually comes up and turns it on.
Usually he has it set up. Everything's fine. I just gotta watch Andrew Mallard now. Sorry, I'm slow today. I could never whistle that good. Oh yes, the mini flamethrower. What?
I have Alzheimer's.
Dementia. Now, where did this come from? I hate when people leave stuff just randomly up here. I don't even know what this is. There's something right here, but right now.
That's why you had a big chicken at the altar. You had a big chicken wrapper at the altar. You were praying over the big chicken wrapper. Isabella had a big chicken wrapper.
I bet it's for this.
She was holding it. I just hear put on like this guy.
That's for this.
She was like blessing the chicken wrapper.
Why is it taking so long?
Because Jesse's doing the outro, that's why.
Jesse's mom just like gave you the whole sermon real quick. Just a calm little sermon. That's very good for you. I'm staying like this because I have school. But what about texting? Wow. But that's tough. Wait, I have an interview tomorrow. I'm going to be working with Pierce's mom. Pierce's mom. I'm going to be working with Pierce's mom. Sarah. Why are you? No.
You have dark enough back there?
Yeah.
How about we got incoming?
What's up?
Selling. When are you selling? I said Andrew. Andrew Shaw. Andrew, up here.
Hey, Varsity, how you guys doing tonight? I said, how you guys doing tonight? Hey, listen, before we get started, I need you guys, I need us to come forward closer. So if there's seats in front of you, can we please fill up the seats that are in front of you first? We have some guests, so if you can move up forward, there's a row, like right here. You guys right here, y'all move up a row, just getting tight. Tonight is a special night because I'm not speaking. Am I excited about that? Dang, tell me how y'all really feel. Ain't that right? That's crazy. My feelings aren't hurt. That's fine. Uh-huh, sure you do. But tonight is a special night because tonight you guys get to hear from your peers. Everybody say your peers. I didn't say pairs, your peers. You get to hear from your peers. So we got a duo that happen to be siblings. I don't know how that worked out. But we got a duo that's gonna be bringing the word tonight. You guys ready? Okay, that wasn't good enough. Okay, this is their first time. I need y'all to make noise so they feel the energy and they can bring it with their message. So you guys ready? All right. They don't know who's coming first, but I've already chosen who's coming first and they're gonna be mad. So, up first, it's the one and only Mallory Shaw.
Hi guys, can you hear me? I guess, yep, he lied. He said he didn't know who was going first. I didn't know I was going first. But that's besides the point. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. What I'm gonna be talking about today, I had a lot of I was trying to decide what to call it, and I couldn't come up with a good title, so I'm just gonna be talking about the heart, okay? Just your heart in general. A couple different aspects of it. I was trying to go into specifics in the title, but I just couldn't pick anything. So we're just gonna say we're gonna be talking about our hearts today. Is that all right? Okay. Yes, sir. All right. So first, we're gonna be starting off with what is our heart and what is its significance to us. So according to the Bible, the heart is the center. According to the Bible, the heart is the center not only of spiritual activity but of all operations of human life. So talking about our heart, we're going to be talking about it is what governs how you operate in your spiritual aspect and just how you operate as a human on this earth, okay? So Proverbs 4:23 says, "Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life." The heart is such an important part of our lives, everything stems from it. That is why being intentional about the posture of our heart is so important. So, the reason I'm bringing this up is, so for a long time, I was never really aware that the heart was such an important part of just how we go about our everyday lives. As it says in that passage, it determines the course of your life. That was never something I never really I've read it 100 times, but never actually thought about it. So we're gonna be thinking about it tonight. We're gonna be very intentional with thinking about where is our heart at in all that we do, because like it says, it determines the course of your life. And I don't know about you, but that's a pretty big deal to you and to your life. So, when taking a look at your heart, so how do you assess your heart? Do I have a good heart? Do I have a bad heart? Where do we even start? So I thought a pretty good place to start was we should be comparing our hearts to the heart of God, okay? So as followers of Christ, our heart should reflect God's heart. We should strive to represent Jesus in every area of our lives. We should always be aiming to be a representation of Jesus in every area of our life. So in looking at our heart and where we're at, we should always just in the world, there's a lot of different areas, like a lot of things are up for interpretation really, but whenever you're talking about like comparing something to God, it's really easy yes or no, like is this of God or not? So when talking about our hearts, whenever we should like be comparing it to him, that's the best thing you can compare it to, because we're never gonna have a heart just like God's, because like he's perfect obviously, but we should always be striving to be as close to that as we can. But going in a little bit more specifically, we're going to talk about a couple different more specifics. So one thing in specific we should be striving for is to have an obedient heart. A good and obedient heart is a heart that is fit to be used by God. The Lord will use anyone who makes themselves available to be used. You can make yourself available by preparing your heart and allowing God to use you. And so, I forgot the story I had with that. That's really tragic. But that's besides the point. So one thing in operating in, oh my gosh, I just blanked. All right, I got this, okay. So, I'm just gonna move on. Thank you very much. This went fine whenever I practiced earlier, but since it's you guys, I'm admitting that I just blanked instead of just rambling. So, but anyways, so I'm just gonna move on from it. So another thing, whenever looking at our hearts, is we should strive to have a soft heart versus a cold heart. So, and what I mean by that is, I feel like each of us are different, and each of us kind of have like a different thing that we're like I know some people and they're very like soft-hearted, they're very like emotional, like not like in a bad way, but like they're very personable and very easy, like they just love people and they love everyone around them. And then you meet like some other people and they just like don't like being around people, or they're not very like personable, like they're not really empathetic or sympathetic for anybody in any way. But so in that, I think we should all have a heart for people and should be always look. And I know that for some people that comes really easily, and that's a place that they really succeed in. But for other people, that comes not so easy. Like I know for me personally, whenever I'm like, of course, like we're all called to minister to people in our own ways. But so I get along with people that I get along with pretty well. But whenever it comes to talking to people that I don't necessarily naturally mesh with, or some people that I don't naturally get along with, I find it a lot harder. And so what it would look like for me would be just like looking at that area of my life, and instead of letting just that not like getting along with certain people, or not just naturally being attracted to or pulled towards certain groups of people, just looking to look internally and just like recognize that me not wanting to go talk to them is not an issue with them, it's an issue with me. And so seeking to get past that, to move on, to just be able to open myself up to be used in that way. Ezekiel 36:26 says, "And I will give you a new heart, and I will put a new spirit in you. I will take out your stony, stubborn heart and give you a tender, responsive heart." So that verse right there is in the Bible, God's word saying that just because like right now you have like a stubborn heart or a stony heart towards a certain thing does not mean that's how you're made and you're destined to be. Like I will give you a new heart, and I will give you a soft heart for people. And so whenever we think about things, or whenever we feel a certain way about things, that may be how we naturally feel, but that doesn't mean that's how we're meant to stay. And so seeking out God's help to just begin to like soften our heart towards certain things or certain people looks different for each and every one of us, but just looking for how we can push past just kind of our own comfort levels and our preferences, and that is because we're meant to speak to everyone, but there's people that we're not going to want to talk to, but obviously we're supposed to talk to. So what like having an obedient heart would look like would be talking to people that you don't want to talk to. And in that way, that is us, like, I guess I was stuttering earlier over the obedient heart, but that's what that is softening your heart and then being obedient to that. Another thing is having a heart softened to the Spirit. So I know that in order to be obedient to what the Spirit is telling you to do, you have to hear the Spirit in the first place. And so whenever looking at your heart, you need to be making sure that you have an open and receptive heart to the things that God is trying to tell you. Because you can't be obedient to what he's trying to tell you if you can't hear him in the first place. And there's steps to everything. And I know that there's in different seasons of life it looks different. And I had a season where I could hear God just fine, but I wasn't taking it a step further and being obedient about it. But it ultimately starts with making sure and being just really aware of, am I making time for God to be receptive to the things he's telling me? Am I making sure that I am positioned in a place where I am able to receive what he's having for me to do? And just making sure you're positioning yourself in a place where you're able to be used by God, because he'll use anyone who makes themselves available, but making sure you're intentional with just the things you do to make sure you are available. And so what are some dangers of what are the dangers of having an unguarded and unaligned heart? When we fail to pay attention and recognize the state of our heart, it will lead to destruction. Because again, Proverbs 4:23 says, guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. So the things in your life that you experience are stemming off of what is the posture of your heart? Where is your heart at in this? Because you could be in a terrible situation, but if you have your heart positioned right, God will be able to use you and your openness in that situation and make it better. He will be able to just do wonders and works in that situation that may be out of your control, but he will just be able to raise you up in that moment and make it for the better. But if you're in a bad situation, but you have your heart positioned in a bad way, it's not going to get better. If anything, it can get worse, and it can feel worse until you just find a way and just be able to realize that what you need is just to open your heart up to like allowing God into the situation. But you could even be in a good situation and have a bad heart posture about it, and you could be hurting that situation and causing it to get worse. Your heart determines just how your life goes. And so some things are out of your control, but the posture of your heart is not. And that was really what I wanted to touch on tonight. Let me open my phone again. So in that, what I really wanted just to put on your mind was that being really intentional and paying a lot of attention to where your relationship is with God, and just where you're at, like what your heart posture looks like is really important. That is something that, because if you neglect it, then you slip into it being in a bad spot really quick. And so, forgetting to just be aware of just those things, just being aware of am I getting my time in here? Am I making sure to spend good time in prayer? Am I being open? Am I listening? Am I hearing things but not listening? Am I pretending not to hear things from God and not listening? Just making sure that you're not ignoring things, because ignoring things makes them build up bigger, and it makes it cause a lot bigger problem. And so Psalms 139, 23-24 says, search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. Point out anything in me that offends you, and lead me to the path of everlasting life. And that verse is a prayer that we should be praying frequently. And that is a prayer that it's a kind of a hard prayer, because you have to really want to hear back, because he will tell you back. He will tell you what you're doing wrong. He will tell you what things he doesn't like. He will tell you what things he wants you to fix. But that's where the obedient heart comes in. You have to actually put action to it and just say, God, you're right here, and I want to give this to you, and I want to just your will to be done. Be looking for ways for his will to be done in your lives. My final thought for tonight is the posture of our heart shapes our relationship with God and how we navigate life. If we want to live life in alignment with his will, we must constantly seek a heart that is obedient, surrendered, and sensitive to his Spirit. Thank you.
You guys can make more noise for Mal. Give it up for Mal one more time. Feel better? Just breathe now. All right, Andrew, she set the stage for you. So let's make some noise for Andrew as he comes to the stage. As he comes to the floor.
Pick the worst picture of me ever to put up there. Oh, yeah. I don't know, it looks worse than normal. I know I look weird, but I swear that's worse. Alright. Tonight I'm going to be talking about the supreme power of God, and I'm going to go over a book that I read by A.W. Tozer called Knowledge of the Holy, and I'm taking 3 major aspects of God and kind of going deeper into them to help explain God. The starting verse, oopsies. Anyways, to start this off, I'm going to read 1 Chronicles 29:11. Yours, O Lord, is the greatness, the power, the glory, the victory, and the majesty. Everything in the heavens and on earth is yours, O Lord, and this is your kingdom. We adore you as the one who is over all things. Now, I have a question. Have you ever stopped to just think about how incredible God is?
Yes.
Pause was longer than intended. Think about the Earth that we live on. It sits in the perfect spot in our solar system for life to flourish. There are over 2 million known species of living things on this Earth. 8 to 10 million estimated, and up to 100 million when you think of microorganisms. Over 5,500 planets have been discovered and described, and not a single one has been confirmed to have life. But ours sits in the perfect spot of a solar system to have liquid water and oxygen so that everything on life on Earth can flourish. I mean, that's just amazing, isn't it? The God that created the universe and us and everything that we know is infinite, unchanging, and all-powerful. And today I'm going to talk about those 3 things using A.W. Tozer's book, Knowledge of the Holy, as a reference. First off, I'm going to go over God's infinitude. In Tozer's book, he writes, "For the Holy Scriptures teach that God is infinite, and if we accept his other attributes, we must of necessity accept this one too." God is infinite, which means to be without limits, bounds, or ends. In the Bible it says, "Before the mountains were born, before you gave birth to the earth and the world, from beginning to end, you are God." Psalms 92. While it is impossible to fully comprehend, it's something that we must know. He never began, and he'll never end. Always has been, and always will be. Everything we know and understand has a reference. As humans, everything we've ever known has a beginning and has or had an end. There was a beginning of time and a beginning of man. There will be an end of man and an end to time. Empires rise and fall. Leaders live and die. Everything that begins ends, but God in his infinity never began and never will end. Likewise, as God is infinite, so is everything that comes from God. Everything that comes from him comes in infinite quantities. God has infinite love, he has infinite grace, infinite mercy, infinite forgiveness, infinite goodness, infinite everything. And the infinite God, that infinite God wants to have a relationship with you so that you can experience all those things. The next thing I want to talk about is how God is unchanging. In another chapter of Tozer's book, he writes, "One who can suffer any slightest degree of change is neither self-existent, self-sufficient, nor eternal, and so is not God. God is an unchanging being, the same then, now, and forever." This is another concept that is hard to wrap our minds around. As humans, everything around us that we know is marked by change. Everything is constantly changing. Technology is always advancing. Society always transforming. Weather constantly changing, especially here in Oklahoma. A few days ago, 78. What the heck is this? 78. Close enough. And our lives are in never-ending states of change. But God isn't. In Hebrews 13:8 it says, "Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever." Everything about God is the same as it has always been and will always be. Tozer says that change happens in 3 ways, either from better to worse, worse to better, or an internal change such as maturity. But to think of God going from better to worse is an absurd thought, because a being like God that could be worse is not an all-powerful being and therefore could not be God. And being the most holy and perfect being, there is no getting better than God already is. And God cannot mature or change internally either. Nothing about God changes. Not his promises, not his love for you. Next, I'm going to talk about God's allness. Tozer describes God's allness this way. God knows instantly and effortlessly all matter and all matters, all mind and every mind, all spirit and all spirits, all being and every being, all creaturehood and all creatures, every plurality and all pluralities, all law and every law, all relations, all causes, all thoughts, all mysteries, all enigmas, all feeling, all desires, every unuttered secret, all thrones and dominions, all personalities, all things visible and invisible in heaven and in earth, motion, space, time, life, death, good, evil, heaven, and hell. God is omnipresent, means he's everywhere at all times. And he's omniscient, so he knows everything. He's also omnipotent, which means he's all-powerful. I think the best way to look at this is to look at a few examples from Scripture. To show an example of his all-power, let's go back to the beginning and look at Genesis 1. In verse 1, we see God created the heavens and the earth, but the earth was formless and empty. And we see in verse 3, God speaks light into existence. In verses 6 through 8, God creates the sky. In verses 9 to 12, God brings about land and creates plants. In verses 14 to 18, God creates the sun, the moon, and the stars. God then creates fish and all the animals on land and the birds in the sky. Finally, God creates man in his image. God created everything from the earth to everything on earth. He made it all to work together. All the delicate inner workings of the human body crafted by God. And he knows everything because he created everything. God was before anything else. Everything that is and ever will be was created by God, and so he knows the nature and being of everything. And God is everywhere at all times. He is infinite and formless. What stops us from walking through a wall or going through a closed door can't stop God. In Psalms 139, 7 through 10, it says, I can never escape from your spirit. I can never get away from your presence. If I go up to heaven, you are there. If I go down to the grave, you are there. If I ride the wings of the morning, if I dwell by the farthest oceans, even there your hand will guide me, and your strength will support me. God is everywhere at all times. To end this message, there are 3 ideas that I want you to leave with tonight. God is infinite. There is no problem in your life that is too big for him. You can never run out of his love, grace, mercy, forgiveness, or kindness. In his infinity, he pursues us and wants a relationship with us. God is unchanging. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. His love for you will never change. He has always loved you and will always love you. And his promises from the Bible will never change. And God is everywhere, knows everything, and can do anything. He created everything, you and me, and everything that we know, for a purpose. None of what God made was an accident. He knows everything, all of your deepest, darkest secrets, the worst parts of you. But he still loves you and wants a relationship with you. God is everywhere. You're never alone. He is always there. He was there in your lowest and loneliest, in the darkest parts of your life. He was there. He always is.
Let's get it for Andrew one more time. Yeah, it brought me to tears. It was good. It was really good. Anybody have questions for Andrew? I know there was a lot. It's like you guys just went to your first seminary class. Man, you guys both did a great job. How about y'all both come up here real quick? Let's give it up for the Shaws. All right, so who did better? I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
You win.
But you guys did a great job. I'm proud of you guys. I know I didn't tell y'all to do this, but anybody want to ask any of them a question about what they spoke on?
I missed your first part.
He came in late. Any questions?
So, what is the supremacy God? How does that impact your life personally?
He said he has a reference in Latin, please.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. You want me to ask it again? No. You don't want to? He says no comment.
Well, personally, I know that happens, but I just wanted like maybe some personal sharing.
I mean, if you were listening to the message, you would have seen how it said that it's his grace, love, mercy, how it's infinite and unchanging. That's pretty personal, if you ask me.
Okay, hold on, time out. This is not a family throwdown. We are in church.
Andrew.
I mean, we can schedule a father-son debate anytime. I'll put that on the calendar. Would y'all pay to see that? $5 at the door. Buy me a new truck. I'm just joking. But you guys both did a great job. Let's give it up for them one more time. Oh, you guys can have a seat. You guys have a seat. Man, that was good. That was really good. Hey, so I don't really have much for you guys left. What, you said a gritty contest? Push-up contest is crazy. No, but hey, before I let you guys get out of here, before we go on to the next thing, who was able to make it to the uproar night last week? Okay, that was pathetic. I said, who was able to make it uproar last week? Anybody want to share about their experience? But you found it. You got a $10 Walmart gift card? Where's it at? Did you already spend it? Can I have it? You said what? A new Meta Quest 3? That is, it's true. But hey, so actually, everybody say May 28th.
May 28th.
Everybody say May 28th. May 28th. We're actually having another uproar night. Okay. For the amount of excitement y'all had the first time, y'all don't seem excited about the second one. We're having another uproar night. But we will be hosting it here on May 28th. You guys excited? Thanks. Thanks. Thanks for that. There's a lot of sick people. Who are they coughing like that? Nah, you gotta get out. I'm joking, you're good, you're good. Anybody else sick? Right? The fact that you just raised your hand is wild. Like, all y'all need to just... How do you... When did you see the doctor? Is that like the definition of spitting bars? Anyway, what did you say?
The sick needed Jesus.
The sick needed Jesus. Do I look like Jesus to you? I'm just joking. Don't come cough on me, I'll kick you. I'm just joking. Hey, but we had a good time. Like I said, May 28th, we're gonna be hosting Upper Night, and then also, hopefully soon, we will have camp information out, so you guys start signing up for camp friends. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So make sure you guys are paying attention whenever that information drops. Next week, we are starting a relationship series. Everybody say relationships. Everybody, please explain, why do you need this relationship series, Franklin? You ain't joking. Why do you having girl problems?
Yes.
I got 99 problems, but just joking. Okay, go on. I am married. A girl ain't one, bro. Chill. Jesus loves me. This I know. Okay, where my Sunday church? None of y'all probably went to Sunday church. I'm talking about like Sunday school. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I misspoke. Sunday school. It's probably a term that you guys probably haven't heard is Sunday school. But okay, once again, what's happening on May 28th? All right, and if you need to put in your calendar, camp is going to be August 30th through, July 30th through August 1st. Yeah, July 30th through August 1st. Everybody say July 30th through August 1st. That means put it on your calendar. It's top priority. You can't miss it because I will find you. I won't, but about what? What's the days for camp? Okay, y'all obviously do not listen. Okay, July 30th, August 1st is camp. Everybody got it? So, cool. I think that's all I have for you guys. Make sure next week we're starting a relationship series, so bring your significant other or your medium other. Bring your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or the person that you friend zone. Bring them all. We're gonna talk about that too. I'm just joking. What? Bring it back. Next week we are starting a relationship series. If you break up with your boyfriend or girlfriend, don't blame me. All right? Blame your heart. But that's all I have for you guys. I'll see you guys next week. You guys are dismissed.
Hey, am I good to turn off? All right.